Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm playing probably one of the most overpowered but least played tanks in the game. It is the Object 416. I featured this tank last year in a video where I questioned why nobody was playing this tank, because it has some of the best stats in its class, kind of like the best camo of any medium tank in the game. Yeah, even makes the Borask look a little bit weak within that regards. Incredible 340 millimeters of, or 330 millimeters if I'm being exact, heat penetration, which allows you to bludgeon your way through anything. Also incredible damage per minute, 2,400, that would make like a tier 9 medium tank look, well, it would work it as a tier 9 medium tank. I guess the big problem with this vehicle is no armor, pretty much absolutely no armor. I mean, you can take a hit occasionally inside a nice matchup like this. The complete lack of gun depression at 3 degrees, and the fact that the turret can't even fully turn, and it's not like the fastest. It could use just a little bit better power to weight ratio. That's really what holds back the Object 416. But today, we're going to be focused on trying to get through the battle without even a scratch on our tank. You know, those kind of games where you just play flawlessly, and you use all of the other aspects of the tank, or maybe also just get a little bit lucky within the same regard. So, nice matchup here for the Object 416, and I'm electing to use vent, coated optics, and an exhaust. Now, on a tank like this, sure, I could use a gun rammer, and it's a really nice tank to use a gun rammer considering it has not the best alpha at 320, and it has really good damage per minute. So using a gun rammer on this tank is great, especially when you're on, like, not long-range maps. If I feel like it's all going to be close-quarters combat and I really need to shoot multiple times as quickly as I possibly can, I will take a gun rammer on this vehicle. However, the tank doesn't have the best view range, and so the coated optics and the vents really help within that regard, and the exhaust allows me to just get a sickening amount of camo on this vehicle. We're talking about like 45% while we're on the move on this tank with this kind of a build. And unfortunately, while my gun depression isn't really going to allow me to engage that CC56, and my gun handling isn't going to help there, I elect that I don't think this guy can have a fully traversable turret either, and oh dear, poor Mr. CC56. We've both got really awkward turrets here, although his is even more awkward than mine, and so we're going to just use our reasonable flexibility on this vehicle against a flexible tank destroyer, but not as flexible as like an inflexible medium. It's weird in a way, right? You'd consider the CC56 to be one of the more flexible tier 7 tank destroyers in the game, and you'd consider the Object 416 to be one of the more inflexible mediums, but still, like a flexible tank destroyer, it doesn't even come close to an inflexible medium within that regard. How many times am I going to say flexible in this video? I don't know. We're going to have a counter somewhere, although I'm not going to do it. You can do it in the comments down below, a flexible counter. Might just throw one at the end to make sure you watch the entirety of the video. Things are hard on YouTube these days, at least with regards to World of Tanks, right? All jokes aside, the 416 showing that even though this vehicle is more like a tank destroyer, the fact that it still has elements of being a medium tank allows you to use those advantages to outplay. Trying to find a word that isn't just flexible again. Oh gosh, putting myself on the spot here. My inner thesaurus right now is completely failing me. You know what, I'll just do what I meant to do, and that probably is just like talk about tanks and shoot things, right? We're up to 3,000 combined now, which isn't too shabby. We've got this Easy 8 clone, the premium tank, in front of us. And, you know, a lot of you be thinking, like, QB, you said you were going to get through this battle without a scratch. What is this right now? How are you even not taking any damage at this stage? We hear shells literally just whizzing to our left, whizzing to our right. And maybe it's because this thing is as flat as a pancake. Maybe that's one of the reasons why we've got to this stage without losing a single hit point. Will this Panther see me right now? No, you're not going to see me until I literally just come almost like about 50 meters from the vehicle there around the bush. Okay, that shows you just how bonkers this camo is. You're not even going to get... well, you're going to get proxy spotted, but until you get within that proxy distance, it ain't happening. Will we even get spotted from the M6 through here? These AP rounds, you know, they're not too shabby on this tank. This is the same gun that you get on the tier 9 medium, the T54, and oh, can we hit this Miel? You know, this game's still darn close right now. They're up by 2,700 hit points. Every single one of these shells that I can make is great. So I auto aim through there, and I wait for them to be driving directly behind me to be able to shoot through the bushes, or should I say the boxes. You can see through bushes, but you can't see through boxes in that regard for trying to find the angles. And we're spotting this M6, and they're not spotting us. It's just a camera rate difference right now. And remember that even when you're firing, when you've got such crazy camo like this, you're still going to retain about 10% camo while firing on a vehicle like this. And if you're sitting that far behind a bush, yeah, you've got 60% camo, so unless he's got like a decent view range on the M6, which he clearly didn't, it's not going to work out too well for him. Right, so running low on AP now we're going to start to sling some heat. And in the first 5.5 minutes of this game, we're up to 5,600 combined, but the game is neck and neck. But remember, when players are outside your render distance, their hit points don't update. And so accordingly, he says, the Progetto, they get wiped off the map. And the Lansen might be a one-shot as well. The AMX M4 might be a one-shot as well. So just remember that you can't depend on the hit points unless you've had them inside the render distance. So the Object 416, I still don't... I don't really understand why nobody plays this tank. I guess because it's not a premium, you know? A lot of people would play the Guard, right, instead of this vehicle. They do have similar kinds of play styles within that regard and tank ideologies. When I'm saying the Guard is, again, as a premium, so why would you play like a non-premium tank when you could just play a premium one, right? And I guess it's just this lack of flexibility. But I would thoroughly recommend try an Object 416 like this, especially if you're a decent player who knows how to play light tanks and you know how to play your mediums. And you might be really surprised with this vehicle about what you can do. And it's one of those kind of tanks where it doesn't matter if you have 1,200 hit points or you have 1 hit point. 1 hit point sometimes is all you need in a sneaky tank to still be putting out consistent shots. It's not like a heavy tank where you need to have some hit points or some armor. And we're not even getting spotted. Okay, I did get spotted by the Miel when I fired there. But now with just the AMX, hopefully they miss us. Whew! Not too bad. We ricochet the AMX, we set them on fire again, and the Super Hellcat finishes them off. Now up to 6,400 combined. And I've got all my hit points that I had at the start of this battle. But it's just a car left on the enemy team. And thank goodness we cut our way through the other flank to be able to get back in time. Because I can tell you, if we hadn't crippled that Miel at long distances, then they would have probably had the hit points to deal with that Super Hellcat. And really it's just about builds in this tank, right? Sure, I could probably get a gun rammer. Maybe I could drop the vents on this thing. If I drop the vents, I'm going to lose a little bit of view range, a little bit of accuracy, a little bit of aim time. This is the kind of tank where, yeah, you definitely want to try and focus on the damage per minute. It is one of the strongest aspects of this vehicle. But again, that's the beautiful thing about having 2 builds. But when you've got the exhaust and I'm literally just spotting people through bushes and they can't see me, crazy, absolutely crazy. And that allows you to be able to get the jump on your tank, on the enemy tanks. And then you don't need armor. You don't need hit points. You don't need a flexible turret. You don't need all of these aspects. All you need then is your knowledge of view range and mechanics to outplay your opponents. And that's how you can get through battles without even a scratch. Now let me clarify, it was lucky that I didn't get through, that I got through this battle without a scratch, and I was trying to be active, and I was trying to get myself in the front, in the faces of my opponents, the whole way through this one. So don't think that I'm encouraging you to try and get through the battle with all of your hit points. Take risks, make plays. Your hit points are there to allow you to make aggressive plays and to tune your aggression to how many hit points you have left to be able to still try and get through the battle. But what this game really showed is just how crazy an exhaust build on a vehicle can be when you've also got a good gun. And hell, it works on the Borask. And it seems to work for me on the Object 416. So an ace tanker here for our 1,687 base experience without having to fire too many gold rounds so we make a profit with or without a premium account. We added to that 1,700 assistance, which manages to pick us up a high caliber medal. Anyway, ladies and gents, sorry for the shorter video today, but I'm having to get as much gameplay as I can for the UDES 3.3 tank review, which will be released tomorrow. Nevertheless, I still felt like I really wanted to have something to say about the Object 416, and honestly, if you are a good player, give this thing a go. Set it up like I did and see if it surprises you, especially on those big open maps. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And I'd like to give you all a kind reminder that the Twitch Drop token store is back for August, and they will be available on Wednesdays as well. So I'm going live all day to help you get your tokens. So come along, say hi, get some loot, and hopefully catch a few games. So as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.